And that how they are reshaping the industries.
We got a fantastic jury and we've left all decisions to the wisdom of the jury.
Who will earn India's top business honors? Find out at the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards.
6 people have been killed after a building collapsed in Mumbai following heavy rainfall. And as Mumbai grapples with another spell of heavy rain and the loss of lives in a building collapse, the tragedy has taken a political dimension. Well, the Uddhav Thackeray Sena has targeted the Maharashtra government over their deaths, questioning who will take responsibility for what it describes as preventable losses. Anand Dubey has said the city is witnessing deaths with every bout of heavy rainfall. He has demanded accountability from Devendra Fadnavis's administration. We've got crucial reactions lined up for you. Listen in.
6 लोगों की एक साथ मौत होना यह दिखाता है कि मुंबई महानगर पालिका का प्रशासन कितना बड़ा गैर जिम्मेदाराना है और लापरवाह है। इसका कौन देगा जवाब कि इन मौतों का जिम्मेदार कौन है?
Well, you must note, it is tragic. There have been 9 deaths in 6 days in Mumbai alone. Abhishek Awasthi has been tracking all the cases for us and the ground reality too. He joins us live at the moment. Abhishek, has the Maharashtra government or the BMC responded to these allegations coming in? 6 deaths in this latest building collapse now?
Definitely, they have responded in the manner by giving an inquiry or conducting an inquiry or investigation into the entire matter. We're right present at the spot and you can clearly see, ground plus 3-story, I would say illegal structure suddenly collapsed yesterday night and costing around 6 lives, out of which 5 innocent children have died along with a woman. And definitely, how these structures were allowed in first place is a big question. Second, were there regular audit or any kind of survey inspection? Because the local MLA out here, Abu Azmi, has alleged that he has frequently raised this issue of illegal construction. And you can see, apart from the site where incident has taken place, these other structures in the nearby areas are at a major risk. In fact, you can say, anytime the incident might take place and injuries could take place. So definitely precautionary, these 2-3 structures where people have been removed. But what about the in totality? Why these illegal structures in first place are allowed? And if they are allowed, why inspections have been not done? And definitely politics is now being played up over the entire issue, where we see the Shiv Sena UBT is directly asking the question to the administration, who is responsible for the loss of life? And in fact, since the red alert is in place and from past 2 to 3 days, several incidences of tree collapse have taken place, balcony collapse, such kind of structures have collapsed, causing around 9 deaths in total in the city of Mumbai. Who is responsible for that? And opposition is targeting the local administration. On the other side, BMC is definitely responding in a manner where inquiries have been set up, whether it is about the tree collapse on the bus incident, whether it is about a person who is drained into a manhole, and yesterday this illegal structure costing 6 lives. So definitely inquiries and investigation have been ordered, but we will have to wait and understand what will be the outcome of these inquiries. Back to you.
Track all the finer developments with you, Abhishek. Thanks so much for joining us. 5 children and a woman have died in this latest building collapse. As my colleague Abhishek Awasthi is pointing out from Ground Zero, the nearby structures are also at risk. And this, as the IMD has issued a red alert for many parts of Maharashtra. Well, the monsoon has once again exposed the cost of urban vulnerability in Mumbai. A season that
Good afternoon, you're watching Breaking Ground on Vedika Sood. The beautiful game is facing some very ugly questions. A red card, an automatic suspension, a phone call from the President of the United States of America to the FIFA chief, and then an extraordinary reversal. Donald Trump says he wanted answers. FIFA says its judicial process is independent. But the controversy is only growing. Belgium is furious. Norway's head coach has called it a bad decision that could hurt the credibility of the World Cup. He says even if the United States wins fairly, there will always be an asterisk over that victory. The US coach insists there is nothing to debate, arguing FIFA simply corrected what it believed was an unfair decision. So where does this leave the world's biggest sporting event? Can sport remain above politics when world leaders enter the conversation? Even if no rules were broken, has the perception of political influence already damaged the tournament? And what precedent does this set? If one red card can be overturned after political intervention, what happens the next time? On Breaking Ground, we examine what really happened behind that decision, why Europe is pushing back, and whether FIFA now faces its biggest credibility test in this World Cup. A quick check on the headlines here on Breaking Ground. Another day, another killer tragedy in Mumbai. 6 killed as house collapses after heavy rainfall. Opposition lashes out at Mahayuti, asks how many deaths before the BMC finally wakes up. Trust meeting on key resignations today. Champat Rai resignation under trust review. Anil Mishra resignation awaits trust decision. Politics erupts over Bengal rape horror. Trinamool Congress claims Mamata Banerjee prevented from meeting victim's family. Cries super emergency. Says Didi is under house arrest. Udayanidhi rains fire on Vijay's TV case, says people of Tamil Nadu will topple Vijay Sar, claims he will be dethroned by the people of the state. Hours after Satluj ban, Diljit Dosanjh breaks silence, says voice of movie protagonist Jaswant Singh Kalra cannot be silenced. Punjab leaders mount big attack on centre. Sources say film banned after careful review. Prime Minister Modi leaves for Indonesia, begins 6-day 3-nation tour. Modi to strengthen Indo-Pacific ties. And FIFA stuns World Cup with historic U-turn. Trump intervention sparks World Cup storm as FIFA clears Balogun to face Belgium. In news just coming in, a major tragedy has been narrowly averted at Maharashtra's Ratnagiri railway station after a large section of the station's exterior roof collapsed amid heavy rainfall late at night. According to reports, nearly 50 to 60 feet of the roof structure gave way, crashing onto the area outside the station premises. Fortunately, no injuries or casualties have been reported, as vehicular movement and public presence were minimal at the time of the incident. The collapse has, however, raised serious questions, of course, about the quality of construction work carried out during the station's renovation. Notably, Ratnagiri railway station underwent a facelift just 2 years ago under a redevelopment project executed by a contractor appointed through the Public Works Department, the PWD. Concerns over the quality of the work had surfaced earlier as well, with reports of roof leakage triggering public criticism last year. The latest incident has, of course, intensified calls for accountability, with local residents and commuters demanding a probe into the construction standards and maintenance of the newly renovated structure. Anuj now joins me live. Anuj, several questions there being asked. Accountability again. This is a major tragedy that has been narrowly averted.
It's a major tragedy, and also it is one of the several tragedies that have unfolded here in Maharashtra in the last 12 hours, because overnight we saw several such incidents happening in western Maharashtra and in Konkan region. As we speak, the Mumbai-Pune Expressway also remains jam-packed because of landslide. But talking about this particular incident, as you said earlier, this project was undertaken by the Public Works Department a couple of years back, and the opposition claims that the construction of the slab or the construction of the wall in question here in Ratnagiri railway station was done haphazardly by the government authorities, as a result of which it could not even sustain 2 successive monsoon seasons, and it fell off last night. Now, as we speak, operations are underway to firstly clear the debris and to make sure that the area is cleared off and no casualties are reported. There has been no official confirmation about whether anyone was stuck when this particular incident unfolded, but we cannot rule out the fact that at least a couple of people might be stuck under the wall while the authorities are working out to get them out safely. What we also know is that there is no harm to life recorded, at least at this point of time. But as I said earlier, it is one of the several infrastructure failures and tragedies that we have seen in the last 12 years here in Maharashtra, which has also become a political flashpoint, as it has resulted to the opposition staging a protest in different parts of the state, especially outside the Vidhan Bhavan, as the monsoon session of Maharashtra Assembly is underway. Back to the studio.
Thanks for joining me live there, but do stay with us. I'll come back to you in a couple of minutes from now. Six people have been killed after building collapse in Mumbai's Mankhurd area following heavy rainfall. The 3-story structure came crashing down, trapping several residents beneath the rubble. Rescue teams from the NDRF and the Mumbai Fire Brigade rushed to the spot and carried out rescue operations. Mumbai Mayor Ritu Tavde visited Govandi Hospital to meet the families of those who lost their loved ones. Maharashtra Minister Girish Mahajan blamed the collapse on heavy rainfall. He also admitted that concerns over illegal construction remains a huge concern and said such buildings will now be investigated. The opposition, however, has held the government responsible, accusing it of failing to identify and act against unsafe and illegal buildings. With this latest tragedy, the death toll from the rain-related incidents and building collapse in Mumbai has climbed to 9 in just 6 days. A grim reminder that every spell of heavy rain is exposing the city's crumbling infrastructure and the cost of delayed action.
In Mankhurd area, Janta Nagar, and you can see towards my right, a massive incident happened yesterday night when 2 to 3 shanties of around 2+3 structure, 2+1 structure collapsed during heavy rains yesterday, costing around 6 lives, out of which 5 are said to be children and 1 woman has died in this entire incident. Questions are being raised that how such illegal construction are permitted in this area, who is responsible behind it, and definitely as the investigation into this will be carried out, but you can see the area around it again towards the right and towards the left. Similar structures are there and they are at the same risk. Now, who has allowed these massive illegal construction is a big question. Time and again this issue has been raised, is what the local MLA Abu Azmi has said, but no one has taken cognizance of it, and now it is costing lives. Now 5 children and a woman has died out of this incident and 1 has been seriously injured.
या ठिकाणी पूर्ण वातावरण बदल हे होतात आहे. ऑरेंज अलर्टवरून रेड अलर्ट या ठिकाणी जाहीर केलेलं आहे. ज्या पद्धतीने हवामान खात्याकडनं अपडेट येतात आहे, अर्ध्या तासाने आपण मुंबईकरांच्या पूर्ण मेसेजवरती पण त्याचा प्रचार आणि प्रसार करतोय, जेणेकरून मुंबईकरांना आपण त्या ठिकाणी सावधानता बाळगायला सांगतोय. हा जो रेड अलर्ट आहे ह्याच्यामध्ये आता तुम्ही पाहताय, आपण बाहेर आहोत सगळेजण, मुसळधार पाऊस आणि वेगवान वारा आणि त्याबरोबर समुद्राला हाय टाईड आहे. या सगळ्याच गोष्टी एकत्र आलेल्या आहेत. त्यामुळे अतिशय सावधानपणे मुंबईकरांनी घराच्या बाहेर पडावं. कुठल्याही मोठ्या झाडाखाली त्यांनी उभं राहू नये, कुठल्याही झाडाखाली आपलं वाहन त्यांनी पार्क करू नये, विजेच्या खांबाजवळ त्यांनी उभं राहू नये किंवा विजेच्या खांबाजवळ त्यांनी गाड्याही पार्क करू नये.
So Mumbai, many places we have received heavy to very heavy rains, with extremely heavy rains isolated places, and over Ghat regions, especially Pune district and then your Raigad, Palghar district. These districts also have received very heavy rains and extremely heavy rains. Lonavala, it is the highest rain today. We have received 670 mm. So that is the highest rain, and this is a very high amount. So over these areas, certainly there will be some difficulties, some problems. And for next 24 to 48 hours, today and tomorrow, so we are again keeping red warning for Raigad district, Ghat region of Pune district, then Nasik district and Palghar district.
Which brings us to the big questions here on NDTV. How many more lives will the BMC ignore? Secondly, why is the BMC failing the maximum city? How long will civic apathy continue for? There have been 9 deaths that have taken place over the last few days. Why no action after repeated tragedies? And when will accountability be fixed? So those are some of the big questions that we're putting to the Maharashtra government at this point. Anuj is back with us. Anuj, just 2 words really encapsulating all that we've seen over the last few days, which is civic apathy. Monsoon rains are always intense in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, but were those checks carried out, or are we just busy with politics through the year, not to pay attention to the civic necessities, the imperatives of the hour?
About 9 deaths here in Mumbai in the last 6 days, but we are counting only the number of deaths that the BMC has put on record. But when we went on ground for reporting, people said that in the last couple of weeks, the number of people who have died or succumbed to deaths due to monsoon mayhem is actually more. And if you consider the larger MMR reason, then the number goes into double digits as well. But what you ask is very important, especially because we've been pointing it out since the start of this reportage that the monsoon in Mumbai was delayed this time around by a substantial delay of 1 month, which means that the BMC got 1 extra month to prepare or to set the ground in a better position for the monsoons. And anyways, the amount of rainfall that the Mumbai is receiving, although it is intense now, but it is expected to be lower than what we do across several years. And yet the BMC is falling into the same trap once again in not being able to provide the basic amenities. When we speak about monsoon mayhem, of course there are there are instances wherein the mayhem of the wrath of the nature takes over the infrastructure. But then especially if you talk about deaths because of manholes being open, or because of trees falling on school buses, or because of the buildings crumbling down, that is surely something where the BMC will have to answer several questions. As far as the action from the BMC is concerned, we have seen that 7 officials have been suspended in 2 separate incidents. But besides that, there is really nothing that the BMC has got to offer at this point of time. There are daily advisories that are put out by the BMC. There are suggestions for the residents, but besides that, there is no long-term plan that we are able to see from the BMC's side, especially considering that the next 2 months is going to be a crucial period for Mumbai. Will BMC change it a little bit? Will be something interesting for us to wait and watch out for.
All right, Anuj, thanks for joining me there. Well, Mumbai's monsoon misery is turning deadly. It already has. In just the last 6 days, at least 9 people have lost their lives in rain-related incidents across the city, raising serious questions about civic preparedness and public safety during the monsoon season. The most recent tragedy unfolded on the 6th when 6 people, which is today, were killed after a building collapsed amid heavy rain. Rescue teams rushed to the spot and launched an operation to search for survivors trapped under the debris, even as concerns mounted over the structural safety of aging buildings across Mumbai. Just a day earlier, on the 5th, a 63-year-old man lost his life after a tree came crashing down on him. The incident once again highlighted the dangers posed by weak and untrimmed trees during periods of intense rainfall and gusty winds. On the 3rd of this month, another fatal accident was reported when a 35-year-old man was killed after being struck by a falling tree. Repeated incidents of tree collapses have triggered questions over whether adequate preventive measures were taken ahead of the monsoon. And on the 1st of the month, an 11-year-old child was crushed to death in yet another rain-related tragedy, adding to the growing toll of lives lost this season. With 9 deaths reported in just 6 days, Mumbai is witnessing a grim reminder of how heavy rain continues to expose vulnerabilities in the city's infrastructure. As the monsoon intensifies, concerns are growing over the condition of old buildings, the safety of public spaces, and the effectiveness of disaster preparedness measures meant to protect us, the citizens. In news just coming in, the political battle over Mumbai's rain-related deaths has intensified, with opposition leaders taking to the streets to protest against the Mahayuti government and the BMC, targeting the administration over a series of rain-related tragedies. The opposition leaders question how many more lives would be lost before accountability is fixed. They also slammed the state's much-touted double-engine government, asking why repeated incidents have failed to trigger corrective action. The protest comes amid growing public anger over infrastructure failures, civic preparedness, and the mounting human cost of Mumbai's monsoon woes.
पिछले 5 दिनों में 10 लोगों की मुंबई में हत्या हो गई है और इस हत्या का जिम्मेदार मुंबई महानगर पालिका है। हाई कोर्ट ने इसमें हस्तक्षेप करके इमीडिएटली मुंबई महानगर पालिका पे इन 10 लोगों के मरने का केस दाखिल होना चाहिए। बच्चे स्कूल से घर जाते हुए मर रहे हैं, मोटरसाइकिल चलाते हुए लोग मर रहे हैं, बिल्डिंग में रहने वाले लोग मर रहे हैं। मुंबई का टोटल फेल्योर है, मुंबई महानगर पालिका का टोटल फेल्योर है। इसके लिए इमीडिएटली सरकार ने इसके ऊपर कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए।
बरस में जो पाउस जोर से गिरता है, इतना गिरा, इतना बरस में कभी इतना गिरा नहीं है। और जो रोड पर जो झाड़ होते हैं, झाड़ भी गिर गए हैं, वो भी इतने कभी गिरे नहीं। जो पहले थे इन्होंने क्या किया, मैं भी उधर था 85 में, मैं काउंसिलर था, मेरे को मालूम है। हाँ, लेकिन किसको उंगली दिखाना ये अच्छा नहीं है।
नहीं, ऐसा कोई नहीं। ये तो झाड़ जो है वो बहुत पुराना झाड़ है। जो चेंबूर में और मानकुर में ये साइड में जो झाड़ गिर रहे हैं वो बहुत पुराने झाड़ है, 50 साल के पुराने झाड़ है। वो झाड़ का सर्वे करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। वो सर्वे करके जितने भी झाड़ है उनका सर्वे करके, उनका कटिंग करके उनको ये रखना चाहिए। आज मानकुर में जो झोपड़पट्टी गिरा है, झोपड़पट्टी में 6 आदमी का जो मौत हुआ है वो बहुत निषेधार्थ है, बहुत बुरा हुआ है। तो मैं इतना ही कहना चाहता हूँ कि एसआरए के माध्यम से जल्द झोपड़पट्टी का पुनर्विकास होना चाहिए।
Abhishek Awasthi now joins me live. Abhishek, the opposition making sure that they really dig in their heels when it comes to the civic mess in Mumbai. What has been the latest statement that's come in from the Maharashtra government after the politics over the monsoon mayhem in the state?
See, definitely we are seeing, Mahavikas Aghadi unitedly, whether it is Congress or whether it is NCP of Sharad Pawar or Sena UBT, directly targeting the Mahayuti government, or you can say the triple engine government now, because in the BMC also they are ruling. And definitely accountability is something that needs to be set. Now, in the past 6 days, 9 lives have been lost. So, who is responsible for it? Whether it is the tree fall that cost the life of a small child, why was the tree not trimmed at that point of time, or why the survey was not done? Why was the manhole kept open at that given point of time? And more importantly, Mankur, those illegal construction needs to be questioned. Who had allowed them to take place? Why was the survey not done? And if it is illegal, why was it not demolished before the monsoon? These are the sharp questions which opposition is asking. And at the same time, we have the response from Girish Mahajan, who is a cabinet minister, who says that we are facing a natural calamity situation at this given point of time, and opposition should not play politics around this, around these situations. But definitely, opposition and as well as we will definitely ask the question, because this is not for the first time things are happening in this manner, because year on year political blame game continues, but at the end Mumbaikars continue to suffer, and definitely we will continue to ask these tough questions, that who is responsible, who should be held accountable for all of this mess.
Who should be held accountable is the big question here. We want the BMC and the Maharashtra government to come out with some very important and pertinent measures. Like our colleague Anuj said, that the Mumbai rains had been delayed by a month, and despite that delay, you can see the civic mess that we are witnessing in the maximum city and across the state. More news coming in. The Mumbai-Pune Expressway's newly inaugurated missing link corridor, which has been shut after relentless monsoon rains had triggered a landslide near one of its tunnels, has now led to a massive traffic snarl, as you can see there on your screens. Authorities were forced to close the Pune to Mumbai carriageway and divert traffic through Lonavala, leading to a massive congestion and long delays for commuters. The 13-kilometer missing link, opened just 2 months ago, was built to bypass the accident-prone Kandala Ghat stretch and cut travel time between Mumbai and Pune by nearly half an hour. With the critical corridor now out of action, thousands of motorists have been stranded as officials race to clear the debris and restore normal traffic. traffic movement. Abhishek back with us. Abhishek, so many examples here on Breaking Ground of the issues that the Maharashtra government needs to address. I mean, it was all laurels a couple of months back when this link was inaugurated, but this is the reality of the day.
Definitely, and opposition is rightly questioning. In fact, Congress has taken a dig at Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, who is known to be an infra man, and they have termed him to be a disaster man, and questioned the missing link landslide that took place, and what was the technology and who was the contractor behind it. A massive corruption allegation have been leveled by the opposition, but at the same time, a massive traffic jam. At the end of the day, the travelers who are traveling from Pune to Mumbai or Mumbai to Pune are worst affected at this given point of time. Though the clearing operation is currently underway and is slowed down because of the heavy rains there, but at the same time we have Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, who has posted on Twitter and said that please try avoiding your travel from Pune to Mumbai or Mumbai to Pune until this mess is clear. So definitely questions will be raised, but at the end of the day, the commuters are the final sufferers at this given point of time, when the missing link has also suffered a major landslide, though the clearing operations are underway. Back to you.
Thank you for joining me live, both Abhishek and Anuj and Abhishek on the story. We'll keep coming back to you for more, but a quick recap on that missing link. The Mumbai-Pune missing link project has been shut after reports of rain-related damage and leaks just 2 months after its inauguration. Visuals from the site show water leaks inside the tunnel and damage to sections of the project. The missing link project, inaugurated around 2 months ago, is a 13-kilometer bypass on the Mumbai-Pune expressway that passes through the Sahyadri Hills. The closure has triggered major concern and a political controversy with the opposition. The Congress alleging serious infrastructural failure and corruption in the execution of this multi-crore project. They claim the project has failed in its very first monsoon and is an example of poor quality construction and, of course, the lack of accountability. The big story of the hour, the Ayodhya Ram Mandir Trust will be discussing Champat Rai and Anil Mishra's resignations. The resignations of General Secretary Champat Rai and Anil Mishra will be discussed at that meeting scheduled for about 3 o'clock today. This has to do, of course, with the donation row. It is unclear whether the resignations will be accepted. According to the Trust's bylaws, a member wishing to step down must provide at least 1 month's notice. The Trust then seeks the reason for the resignation from the member before making a decision. If a member is to be removed, a 1-month notice must be served, followed by a vote requiring a 2/3 majority for the removal. It is reported that discussions regarding the resignations of Rai and Mishra will take place today, with further details to be decided subsequently. I have Gauri Dwivedi joining me live from Ayodhya. Gauri, what is certain is the discussion over their resignations. Will it be accepted? How long will they remain on the trust is what we need to understand after that meeting takes place.
Indeed, Vedika, there are a lot of moving parts to this, and we need to point out those nuances. One, of course, is the fact that since 7th of June, these allegations have come to surface. Probe has been initiated, multiple rounds and multiple levels of probe and investigation is currently on. And the backdrop of that is that in the next 2.5 hours, behind me is the gate from which all the members of the trust will start entering in about 2 hours from now. And that is when the meeting will take place. Now, in the meeting, of course, these probe findings will come up. Of course, there will be a sequence of events, in fact, where they will all speak. Champat Rai will speak, and then he is expected to offer his resignation as well, owning responsibility. And then the other set of speakers and members of the trust will also speak, and then likely decision could be taken. However, the larger point is, A, whether their resignation will be accepted. Remember, this is a trust. A trust is governed by its own article of association and its own memorandum through which it governs its day-to-day affairs and the organizational structure. So as per the trust, they will decide whether to accept the resignation, and B, if they do so, then the structure of the new organizational structure will then have to be decided. So all that and more in the next 2.5 hours.
All that and more by 3 o'clock. Gauri Trivedi will bring you up to speed with all the latest. She's there in Ayodhya tracking all the developments. The Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust will hold that crucial meeting at 3 p.m. this afternoon regarding alleged donation embezzlement. The investigation into the donation theft case has, of course, intensified. The police has recorded statements of 60 people and will record statements about another 140 will be recording their statements as well, is what we've got to know. The police will also record statements of Gopal Rao and Anil Mishra. Also, the police will examine the assets of all those associated with the trust, including Champat Rai. The resignations of General Secretary Rai and Mishra, like we just said, will be discussed during that trust meeting. The meeting will review interim SIT findings and plan for a new administrative structure, including a potential CEO appointment. Financial statements for the year 2025-26 fiscal year will be presented for approval as well.
3 बजे बैठक है मंदिर परिसर में होगा नृत्य गोपाल दास जी करेंगे।
अरे इतना काम किया है संगठन ने कि यही नहीं किया, अयोध्या में किया, उज्जैन में किया और वाराणसी में किया। इतने लोग आने लगे कि कमरे बड़े महंगे जाने लगे, रिक्शे वालों का काम चल गया, सारे लोगों का काम बना है। बड़े उत्साह की बात। जो कसर होगी फैसले के बाद आगे जो बाकी है वो और हो जाएगा।
News just coming in. The political battle over Karnataka's voter list revision is intensifying, with the NDA approaching the state chief electoral officer alleging serious irregularities in the ongoing special intensive revision exercise, which is the SIR exercise. BJP leaders representing the NDA alliance partners have claimed that booth level officers are not following the Election Commission's mandatory door-to-door verification process. According to the complaint, enumeration forms are instead being filled at community halls, mosques, and even at the residences of BLOs. That's a serious charge being made by the representatives of the NDA. The NDA also alleges that WhatsApp groups are being used to encourage voters to visit these locations to complete the process, a practice, it says, that violates the Election Commission guidelines and raises concerns about the integrity of the revision exercise. Claiming that similar complaints have surfaced from across Karnataka, the alliance has demanded an immediate probe into the alleged violations. The NDA has also sought a fresh verification of all enumeration forms through door-to-door checks and has called for strict action against any official or political functionaries found guilty if the allegations are substantiated. Ritu now joins me live. Ritu, this is becoming a big controversy in the state. You have NDA representatives now knocking the door of the state EC.
Well, very true. You see, in a major development regarding the SIR process, which is on here in the Karnataka, you have now the NDA who has come out to make this big allegation right here where we are at the State Election Commission's office itself, where they had met the Chief Electoral Officer and have leveled various serious allegations as well, where they have gone on to state that these enumerations forms are getting filled at the community halls, mosques, and also the personal residence of the BLO, which is the violation of this whole SIR process, the SOP itself, and there needs to be an action that needs to be taken as well. Now this, of course, they have gone on to highlight that there's completely a mismanagement by this Congress-led government in the state, whether the officials, the BLOs, the BLAs as well, were all functioning with a tremendous pressure as well, and are going to and are continuously making these big mistakes as well, despite being completely aware that this is a violation and thus it needs to stop right away. But you see, there has also been a counter allegations as well that we are seeing in this whole SIR process, but needs to be seen going forward whether the BJP, the NDA will drop this matter here or will continue to attack the Congress-led government in the state. Back to you.
All right, and we'll keep a track on all the developments there that are emerging in the state of Karnataka. Ritu, thanks for joining me live. Moving on, after years of delays and controversy, Diljit Dosanjh's long-awaited film, Punjab 95, which was released on ZEE5 under the new title Satluj, has been taken down from the streaming platform in India. As per sources, the decision to take down Satluj was taken after careful review. The film had earlier applied for a theatrical release, but was not approved in the form in which it was submitted. Sources say concerns were raised over certain portions of the film. Diljit Dosanjh has now broken his silence on the ban with a cryptic social media post saying, and I quote, "I challenge darkness." He also said that now the film will not be stopped as Kalra's voice cannot be silenced. Politics has also broken out over the movie, with the Akali Dal chief Sukhbir Badal calling it an assault on collective memory.
शुक्रवार ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਸੀ। ਤੋ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੀ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਯੈਸ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਮੰਡੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਫ਼ਤਰ ਖੁੱਲਣਗੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਫਿਲਮ ਬੈਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ, ਪਰ ਸੰਡੇ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਜੂਗੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਪਰ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੀਗਾ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕੱਲ ਕਰ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ। ਇਹ ਡੇ 1 ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ, ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ, ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਦੱਸੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਲਮ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ। ਜੇ ਦੱਸ ਕੇ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ 2 ਦਿਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਲੱਗਣੀ। ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਫਿਲਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਘਰ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆ ਫਿਲਮ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਿਲਮ ਡਾਊਨਲੋਡ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਣ ਨਵਾਂ यूथ ਆ ਉਹ फिल्म ਦੀ ਗੱਲ भी कर रहा है।
देखिए 90 के दशक में पंजाब में हिंसा भी हुई और हिंसा के नाम पर बेगुनाहों का कत्ल भी हुआ, उनको मारा भी गया, पुलिस के द्वारा मारा गया। और जिन पुलिस वालों ने उसके खिलाफ विरोध में खड़े होकर कहा कि ये आप गलत कर रहे हैं, उन ऐसे 2000 पुलिस वालों को भी मारा गया। जसवंत सिंह खालरा ने वह सारा विषय उठाया था और बाद में जसवंत सिंह खालरा की ही मृत्यु संगत तरीके से हो गई। और ये जो अब OTT प्लेटफॉर्म पे फिल्म रिलीज़ हुई है, पंजाब 95 की जगह उसका नाम नया सतलुज रख दिया गया है। अपेक्षा करते हैं कि लोग इस बात को याद रखेंगे और जो संस्थाएं हैं, जो सरकारें हैं, वो इस पे चिंता करते हुए जो जख्म हरे हैं उनको भरने की कोशिश करेंगी।
Let's tell you more about the controversy. The film Satluj, originally titled Punjab 95, is inspired by the life of Jaswant Singh Kalra, one of Punjab's most prominent human rights activists. In the 1990s, Kalra investigated allegations of extrajudicial killings and the disappearance of hundreds of people during the militancy years in Punjab. His work brought national and international attention to the alleged mass cremation of unidentified bodies and claims of abuse of power by security forces. In 1995, in the month of September, Kalra was abducted outside his home while pursuing these investigations. A decade later, in 2005, 6 Punjab police personnel were convicted in the kidnapping and the murder case. They were sentenced to life imprisonment in what became one of India's most significant human rights cases. It is Kalra's life and fight for justice that formed the basis of the film, now at the center of this fresh controversy. Now, according to sources, Satluj was taken down after a detailed review of the film, during which authorities flagged concerns that certain portions of the movie could be misused or exploited by anti-India elements. The key reasons being cited are the film was reviewed after its OTT release on ZEE5 and concerns were raised about some scenes and content. Authorities reportedly felt that certain portions could be used by anti-India or separatist forces to further their narrative. Sources noted that the film had earlier sought a theatrical release but was not cleared in the form in which it was submitted, leading the makers to opt for a direct OTT release. Instead, following the post-release review, the decision was taken to remove the film from the platform pending further process. Ghazali now joins me live from Chandigarh on this story. Ghazali, you've been speaking to people in Chandigarh, in Punjab. What is the narrative there? What are people saying? Are they extremely upset? I'm not talking about the political outfits. I'm talking about the viewers there, the citizens there.
See, this is not the first time a movie based on Punjab's militancy era has been banned. A similar movie, and by the same lead actor Diljit, was banned back in 2014 when Punjab 1984 was launched. Later, the makers had to release it on OTT. A similar kind of scene has erupted now after a decade, almost a decade. This happened back in 2014. But Jaswant Khalra's biopic is something which is very close to people here, because every from a kid to an elderly person knows the name just Bhai Jaswant Singh Khalra, because a common banker who took on the system against the forced disappearance is something is known to everyone who has seen that dark phase of militancy in Punjab. And the same question arises for everyone we speak to, that why a movie which was stopped for the last 3 years before getting released was released and abruptly kind of pulled out of that OTT yet again. And as you rightly said, that the government is saying that perhaps they fear it will revive or push that entire ideology of Khalistan or separatism or terrorism back in Punjab. But people don't buy that argument, because there are many movies on different issues which have been released in India. Particularly about this movie, the word controversial is something nobody's accepting here in Punjab, because the movie is based on facts. Bhai Jaswant Singh Khalra was abducted by the policemen. He was killed. His body has not yet been traced. He was thrown into the Harike River here. So all these issues is something which has brought back the memories of how a police state functions, and people are still recalling that how back in 1990s or even in late 80s after the Operation Blue Star, how the police system was given excessive power to carry out brutal attack on normal citizens.
All right, Ghazali, thanks for joining us live. We, of course, will keep coming back to you for more. On that note, we're slipping a short break. When we're back, we talk about a big controversy at the FIFA World Cup, a red card, a presidential call, the World Cup's biggest controversy with Trump's FIFA intervention in moments from now.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
माँ भी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
P-Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
बरसों से सरसों थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा और प्योर मसाला।
India Inc.'s most respected names chose India Inc.'s best and brightest.
I'm delighted to be chairing a committee of such distinguished fellow businessmen, bankers. It's just lovely to be back on this NDTV jury. I have been a fan of NDTV for a long time.
Many of the nominees are extremely close together in terms of what they've done.
Gender parity to be reflected while we choose leadership as well.
It's also important that how they are reshaping the industries.
We've got a fantastic jury, and we've left all decisions to the wisdom of the jury.
Who will earn India's top business honors? Find out at the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards.
R Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones.
This location from Tel Aviv
Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to him at length yesterday.
The Ayatollah Khamenei is gone. There has been a missile attack right behind me, and we need to rush into a shelter heading there. Will Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli resign?
And now, Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी R Pure वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद, हर रोज।
The front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
So many attacks.
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break, live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area.
North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. INS Vikrant. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
6 people have been killed after a building collapsed in Mumbai following heavy rainfall. And as Mumbai grapples with another spell of heavy rain and the loss of lives in a building collapse, the tragedy has taken a political dimension. Well, the Uddhav Thackeray Sena has targeted the Maharashtra government over their deaths, questioning who will take responsibility for what it describes as preventable losses. Anand Dubey has said the city is witnessing deaths with every bout of heavy rainfall. He has demanded accountability from Devendra Fadnavis's administration. We've got crucial reactions lined up for you. Listen in.
6 लोगों की एक साथ मौत होना यह दिखाता है कि मुंबई महानगर पालिका का प्रशासन कितना बड़ा गैर जिम्मेदाराना है और लापरवाह है। इसका कौन देगा जवाब कि इन मौतों का जिम्मेदार कौन है?
Well, you must note, it is tragic. There have been 9 deaths in 6 days in Mumbai alone. Abhishek Awasthi has been tracking all the cases for us and the ground reality too. He joins us live at the moment. Abhishek, has the Maharashtra government or the BMC responded to these allegations coming in? 6 deaths in this latest building collapse now?
Definitely, they have responded in the manner by giving an inquiry or conducting an inquiry or investigation into the entire matter. We're right present at the spot and you can clearly see, ground plus 3-story, I would say illegal structure suddenly collapsed yesterday night and costing around 6 lives, out of which
The big story, FIFA has lifted Balogun's World Cup suspension after intervention from none other than Donald Trump. The US striker was earlier sent off and said to miss the crucial knockout match against Belgium. Trump reportedly spoke to the FIFA president, urging a review of the decision. Following the talks, FIFA reversed the ban under disciplinary provisions. The move has, of course, sparked strong reactions, with critics questioning political influence in the game of football.
Folarin Balogun, the United States leading goal scorer with 3 goals, was sent off against Bosnia and Herzegovina after crashing an opponent on the ankle during America's round of 32 win. Under FIFA rules, a straight red card carries an automatic 1-match suspension. But on Sunday, FIFA dramatically reversed that decision. Donald Trump wasted no time taking credit, posting on social media, "Thank you, FIFA, for doing what was right and reversing a great injustice." The reversal stunned Belgium. The Royal Belgian Football Association said it was astonished, while head coach Rudi Garcia questioned the credibility of the decision.
Je ne savais pas que dans les bureaux de la FIFA, le 5 juillet correspondait au 1er avril en Europe. C'était une découverte pour moi. La fédération belge, elle se défend pas elle-même, elle défend pas l'équipe nationale, elle défend le football en général, elle défend son intégrité, elle défend son éthique.
Garcia refused to be drawn on whether Belgium would appeal or whether Trump's intervention influenced FIFA, saying his focus remained on beating the United States. The US squad reportedly found out Balogun was available again through social media while traveling to training. Earlier, American players had defended their striker, insisting that there was no intent behind the challenge.
Well, I mean, obviously we've played with him all tournaments, so I mean, it changes as far as like just having him as a presence out there. He does so much. He runs off the ball. He always gives an option. He's constantly a threat and behind and to score, and obviously as a team, it's really helpful.
FIFA said Balogun's 1-match suspension has been suspended for a 1-year probationary period. Any similar offence during that time would reactivate the ban. The decision has ignited a global backlash. Fans, pundits and former players have accused FIFA of creating one set of rules for the hosts and another for everyone else. With a place in the quarterfinals on the line, the focus has shifted from football to one question. Did politics just change the course of the World Cup? Rika Roy for NDTV.
All right, and let's get you some voices from Norway and the US.
We cannot mix that. That is a decision from the FIFA that, with the evidence that happened before, and that's it. If that happened, if you can find, it's not too many time ago, you can find some situation that happened the same that. And that, for me, is very good for football, is to celebrate. Because if some, in the next game, or the game that they are playing now, and some unfair thing happen, you have the possibility to go and to reverse the decision. Decision that came from the VAR, from situations that are slow motion, that never is the reality of what happened on the pitch.
It's a bad decision that will hurt the World Cup, and I feel also sorry for the United States, because if they win, it will always be that will hang in the balance of it. So not good for the sport, bad decision by FIFA.
The biggest controversy of 2026 FIFA World Cup has exploded just hours before the United States round of 16 clash against Belgium. US striker Balogun has been cleared to play after FIFA sensationally overturned his automatic suspension following a red card. A decision that came after US President Donald Trump personally urged the FIFA president to review the incident. The move has, of course, triggered accusations of political interference and questions over the integrity of the tournament and, of course, FIFA as well. I have Rika joining me live on that big story. Rika, why has a phone call in this, entire controversy led to such a huge furor? Have we ever seen something like this before? How unusual is it for FIFA to overturn an automatic one-match suspension after a straight red card, that too after a call from Donald Trump?
Well, you see, a phone call from a head of the state is unprecedented. It has happened for the first time in the FIFA World Cup, but an incident like this of a player being red carded and the red card being overturned, he being made to play the next game, did happen in 1962, and it hasn't happened since. In the FIFA World Cup of 1962, it had happened, and it hasn't happened since. So it really is, the whole situation, I would say, is unprecedented. But, Donald Trump wading into FIFA matters is not new. His friendship with Gianni Infantino is famous, or rather unfamous. He was given the FIFA Peace Prize by Infantino, and we do know that it is not the first time. But Donald Trump has been intervening in FIFA matters time and again. Remember, he did this with Iran. He asked Infantino to shift their base to Mexico at the very last moment, almost around the time they were arriving in United States. A very famous Europe versus America divide, which has been, very evident even in the FIFA World Cup. And now, by taking this far, he has created deeper fissures, I would say. And it's not just one association, but many, many associations inside FIFA. It has over 200 members are now questioning the body over conflict of interest. How is this friendship between Infantino and Donald Trump affecting FIFA? And there are serious allegations of conflict of interest on Gianni Infantino.
And all eyes will be on how European leaders, also political leaders, respond to this huge controversy. This is not the end of it. But moving on, a report from the game as well, a stoppage time stunner sent shockwaves through the stadium as Brazil booked their place in the next round in dramatic fashion. The Samba boys came from behind to edge past Japan 2-1 in a tense encounter, sealing a spot in the round of 16. After a hard-fought contest, it was Martinelli who delivered the decisive moment, finding the net to complete the turnaround and secure Brazil's passage. More in this report.
The Viking fans were rowing in Times Square, inside and outside the New Jersey Stadium. Their team, a bunch of upstarts, led by the most incredible performances of Erling Haaland, has knocked five-time champions Brazil out of the FIFA World Cup 2026. The Samba boys missed a penalty in the first half. Bruno Guimarães squandered a golden chance. He became the first Brazilian player since Zico in 1986 to fail to convert a penalty in a World Cup game. They defended well till the 79th minute, where an Andreas Schellderup stunning cross found Haaland and he planted it to the bottom corner. The second one was a thunderbolt from the man called the Terminator. This was Haaland's maiden FIFA World Cup appearance, and he delivered 3 braces plus 1 more goal in 4 games, scoring in every single game. This is the first time in World Cup history that 3 players have scored 7+ goals in a single edition of the tournament. It has also pulled the Norwegian level with Mbappe and Messi in the race for the Golden Boot. Neymar converted a spot kick in the stoppage time, but it was too little too late. So a sad end to what was most likely his last World Cup. He sat on the pitch, inconsolable. Carlo Ancelotti and his men were stunned. In the end, it was Norway 2, Brazil 1. Odegaard threw his manager in front of the Norway fans to receive their applause as a deep roar of the Vikings began. Haaland beating the drum, everyone rowing in unison once again. Rika Roy for NDTV.
Two of football's most iconic figures appear set to close the chapter on their international journeys. Neymar and Ronaldo have defined an era, broken countless records and inspired generations. As the curtain falls on their time in national colours, the football world reflects on the end of a remarkable legacy. More in this report.
Ahead of Portugal's clash against Spain, Cristiano Ronaldo confirmed this tournament will be his final appearance on football's biggest stage.
Disfrutar al máximo posible, que sea el último mundial, que va a ser mi último mundial, y disfrutar día a día. Ojalá, que no sea mañana mi último partido. Ojalá. Así vosotros me pueden matar un poco más. Intentar matar.
Ronaldo leaves behind one of the greatest careers ever. He became the first player to score in 6 different FIFA World Cups and the oldest goal scorer in men's World Cup knockout match. Even at 41, he has already scored 3 goals in this tournament. The one trophy missing is the World Cup, but Ronaldo insists it won't define him.
Não me falta nada na vida. Deus foi muito generoso comigo e deu-me tudo aquilo que eu não vou ser mais cristiano por ganhar o Mundial ou vou ser menos cristiano se não ganhar o Mundial.
Portugal now face Spain. Lose and Ronaldo's World Cup story is over. Win and the farewell tour continues. Shortly after Cristiano came Neymar's announcement. Moments after Brazil's elimination, the 34-year-old confirmed he was stepping away from the national team. He said, "I tried and tried. Now it's over. I started here. I'm closing it here." There was a remarkable symmetry to his farewell. Neymar made his Brazil debut at the MetLife Stadium 16 years ago. His final international match also came at the MetLife. He leaves as Brazil's all-time goal scorer with 80 official goals in 129 international appearances, more than Pelé, and is one of the most gifted players his country has ever produced. But the World Cup remained the missing piece. Injuries, heartbreaks and near misses defined his 4 tournaments. From the back injury in 2014 to penalty shootout exits in 2022 and now the defeat to Norway in 2026. Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar. One has begun his farewell, the other has said goodbye. 2 legends, 2 unforgettable careers, and a generation of football is slowly coming to an end. Rika Roy for NDTV.
And that's a wrap on Breaking Ground at 12 p.m. I'll be back in moments from now, where our top focus will be on the controversy over the ban of the movie Satluj. Who pulled the plug? More details in moments from now.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो, मतवारा हुआ रे।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया है।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
माँ भी हमेशा पी-मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी। ये आपके लिए।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P-Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
सरसों से सरसों।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा। सबका राजा आरती और मसाला।
India Inc.'s most respected names chose India Inc.'s best and brightest.
I'm delighted to be chairing a committee of such distinguished fellow businessmen, bankers. It's just lovely to be back on this NDTV jury. I have been a fan of NDTV for a long time.
Many of the nominees are extremely close together in terms of what they've done.
Gender parity to be reflected while we choose leadership as well.
It's also important that how they are reshaping the industries.
We've got a fantastic jury and we've left all decisions to the wisdom of the jury.
Who will earn India's top business honors? Find out at the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, delicious, healthy, every day.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones.
This location from Tel Aviv
Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to him at length yesterday.
The Ayatollah Khamenei is gone. There has been a missile attack right behind me and we need to rush into a shelter. Heading there. Will Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli resign?
And now, Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद, हर रोज।
माँ भी हमेशा पी-मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P-Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
सरसों से सरसों।
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. France. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
6 people have been killed after a building collapsed in Mumbai following heavy rainfall. And as Mumbai grapples with another spell of heavy rain and the loss of lives in a building collapse, the tragedy has taken a political dimension. Well, the Uddhav Thackeray Sena has targeted the Maharashtra government over their deaths, questioning who will take responsibility for what it describes as preventable losses. Anand Dubey has said the city is witnessing deaths with every bout of heavy rainfall. He has demanded accountability from Devendra Fadnavis's administration. We've got crucial reactions lined up for you. Listen in.
6 लोगों की एक साथ मौत होना यह दिखाता है कि मुंबई महानगर पालिका का प्रशासन कितना बड़ा गैर जिम्मेदाराना है और लापरवाह है। इसका कौन देगा जवाब कि इन मौतों का जिम्मेदार कौन है?
Well, you must note, it is tragic. There have been 9 deaths in 6 days in Mumbai alone. Abhishek Awasthi has been tracking all the cases for us and the ground reality too. He joins us live at the moment. Abhishek, has the Maharashtra government or the BMC responded to these allegations coming in? 6 deaths in this latest building collapse now?
Definitely, they have responded in the manner by giving an inquiry or conducting an inquiry or investigation into the entire matter. We're right present at the spot and you can
clearly see, ground plus 3-story, I would say illegal structure suddenly collapsed yesterday night and costing around 6 lives, out of which 5 innocent children have died along with a woman. And definitely, how these structures were allowed in first place is a big question. Second, were there regular audit or any kind of survey inspection? Because the local MLA out here, Abu Azmi, has alleged that he has frequently raised this issue of illegal construction. And you can see, apart from the site where incident has taken place, these other structures in the nearby area.
A film that spent years fighting to be seen has disappeared again. Less than 48 hours after its release on an OTT platform, Satluj was taken down in India. No detailed explanation, no public order, just a brief statement saying the film is unavailable until further notice. Even its lead actor, Diljit Dosanjh, says he expected this to happen. He said, and I quote, "I thought it would happen on Monday morning." He said it happened on Sunday night instead. But he also says he's satisfied because in those 2 days, the film had already reached people's homes. So who pulled the plug and why now? Sources tell NDTV that the decision followed a careful review. The film had earlier been denied theatrical release in the form it was submitted in. Sources say concerns remained over certain portions of the film and that they could be misused by anti-India forces. While OTT releases do not require CBFC certification, streaming platforms operate under a framework of self-regulation with government oversight for sensitive content. At the heart of this controversy is a film inspired by the life of human rights activist Jaswant Singh Kalra, a story that has already survived years of delays, a title change from Punjab 95 to Satluj, and a prolonged certification battle. On Breaking Ground, the debate goes far beyond one movie. Is this a case of responsible regulation or another flashpoint in the ongoing battle over censorship, creative freedom, and who gets to tell difficult stories? This is Breaking Ground. I'm Vedika Sood, and here are the headlines we are tracking at this hour. Another delay, another killer tragedy in Mumbai. 6 killed as house collapses after heavy rainfall. Opposition lashes out and Mahayuti asks how many deaths before BMC wakes up. The monsoon hit Mumbai a month after its usual time. Ram Mandir Trust meeting on key resignations today. Champat Rai resignation under trust review. Anil Mishra resignation awaits trust decision. Politics erupts over Bengal rape horror. Trinamool Congress claims Mamata Banerjee prevented from meeting victim's family. Cries super emergency. Says Didi is under house arrest. Hours after Satluj ban, Diljit Dosanjh breaks silence, says voice of movie protagonist Jaswant Singh Kalra cannot be silenced. Punjab leaders mount big attack on centre. Sources say film banned after careful review. Prime Minister Modi leaves for Indonesia. Begins 6-day 3-nation tour. Modi to strengthen Indo-Pacific ties. PM Modi set for bilateral meetings. And FIFA stuns World Cup with historic U-turn. Trump intervention sparks World Cup storm as FIFA clears Balogun to face Belgium. Start with the Maharashtra mayhem, with the monsoons that have hit the state and has led to a huge civic mess. The Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is chairing a meeting at the disaster control room in the Mantralaya after heavy rains and landslides in various parts of Maharashtra have caused deaths and have also caused a lot of mayhem. Disaster Relief Minister Girish Mahajan and senior officers are in attendance for the meeting. Anuj joins me live. Anuj, you have the Chief Minister taking stock of the situation, but the criticism by the opposition, by the people of Maharashtra mounting at this point.
Well, yes, situation continues to become worrisome here in Maharashtra, especially in the MMR region since the last 12 hours, because this is the third consecutive day that the city is seeing a red alert. Originally, there was an orange alert in place for today, but then considering the the 70 to 80 kmph speed of the winds, which caused the majority of the mayhem yesterday, now the orange alert has been updated to a red alert. But besides Mumbai, also we are seeing such kind of instances taking places in close-by regions, be it the rural Pune region, where the Mumbai-Pune expressway is currently extremely jammed because it has been shut as far as the Khandala end of the missing link is concerned. The videos of water leakage and landslide in missing link are making rounds on social media and are being shared widely by the opposition, especially because the 6,000 crore project of missing link was inaugurated only months ago, in fact only on May 1, and it was considered to be one of the pioneers of Indian engineering by the Maharashtra government. But in the first ever monsoon, it has started to show cracks, and that has opened up several questions in front of the government. Besides that, we are also seeing a crumbling infrastructure besides MMR, also in the Konkan region. Just a while back, we were speaking about a wall coming down in Ratnagiri region. Now, in a lot of these places, what we are also noticing is that while there has been no official, number of casualties, especially in the rural Pune region, one cannot completely rule that out, as rescue operations are in place and have been going since last 6 hours. And in the backdrop of all of this, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is holding a key meeting today in the Secretariat, reviewing all of these development. We know that the monsoon session of Maharashtra Assembly is currently on, and there is immense pressure on the government to answer the opposition over the raising doubts over the quality of infrastructure, be it the big ticket projects or even the civic infrastructure projects that were initiated in the city. We know that since 2021, the BMC government has been under the direct or the indirect control of the ruling Mahayuti government, which is why that is a big amount, that's a considerable amount of time or sample for the Mahayuti government to provide answers. But one pattern that was also noticed by the civic activists and us when we were reporting on the ground is that BMC somewhere failed to have a proper rain preparedness mechanism in place. We know that the rain was delayed by over a month this time around, and yet the city has shown similar problems as it did last time around. Back to the studio.
Joining me live there, 6 people have been killed after building collapse in Mumbai following heavy rainfall. The 3-story structure came crashing down, trapping several residents beneath the rubble. Rescue teams from the NDRF and the Mumbai Fire Brigade rushed to the spot and carried out rescue operations. Mumbai Mayor Ritu Tavde visited the hospital to meet the families of those who lost their loved ones. Maharashtra Minister Girish Mahajan blamed the collapse on heavy rainfall. He also admitted that concerns over illegal construction remains a concern and said such buildings will now have to be investigated. The opposition, however, has held the government responsible, accusing it of failing to identify and act against unsafe and illegal buildings. Also, they're holding protests over it. With this latest tragedy, the death toll from rain-related building collapses in Mumbai has climbed to 9 in just 6 days. A grim reminder that every spell of heavy rain is exposing the city's crumbling infrastructure and the cost of delayed action.
In Mankurd area, Janta Nagar, and you can see towards my right, a massive incident happened yesterday night when 2 to 3 shanties of around 2+3 structure, 2+1 structure collapsed during heavy rains yesterday, costing around 6 lives, out of which 5 are said to be children and 1 woman has died in this entire incident. Questions are being raised that, how such illegal construction are permitted in this area, who is responsible behind it, and definitely as the investigation into this will be carried out, but you can see the area around it again towards the right and towards the left. Similar structures are there and they are at the same risk. Now, who has allowed these massive illegal construction is a big question. Time and again this issue has been raised, is what the local MLA Abu Azmi has said, but no one has taken cognizance of it, and now it is costing lives. Now 5 children and a woman has died out of this incident, and one has been seriously injured.
या ठिकाणी पूर्ण वातावरण बदल हे होतात आहे. ऑरेंज अलर्टवरून रेड अलर्ट या ठिकाणी जाहीर केलेलं आहे. ज्या पद्धतीने हवामान खात्याकडनं अपडेट येतात आहे, अर्ध्या तासाने आपण मुंबईकरांच्या पूर्ण मेसेजवरती पण त्याचा प्रचार आणि प्रसार करतोय, जेणेकरून मुंबईकरांना आपण त्या ठिकाणी सावधानता बाळगायला सांगतोय. हा जो रेड अलर्ट आहे ह्याच्यामध्ये आता तुम्ही पाहताय, आपण बाहेर आहोत सगळेजण, मुसळधार पाऊस आणि वेगवान वारा आणि त्याबरोबर समुद्राला हाय टाईड आहे. या सगळ्याच गोष्टी एकत्र आलेल्या आहेत. त्यामुळे अतिशय सावधानपणे मुंबईकरांनी घराच्या बाहेर पडावं. कुठल्याही मोठ्या झाडाखाली त्यांनी उभं राहू नये, कुठल्याही झाडाखाली आपलं वाहन त्यांनी पार्क करू नये, विजेच्या खांबाजवळ त्यांनी उभं राहू नये किंवा विजेच्या खांबाजवळ त्यांनी गाड्याही पार्क करू नये.
So Mumbai, many places we have received heavy to very heavy rains, with extremely heavy rains isolated places, and over Ghat regions, especially Pune district and then your Raigad, Palghar district. These districts also have received very heavy rains and extremely heavy rains. Lonavala, it is the highest rain today. We have received 670 mm. So that is the highest rain, and this is a very high amount. So over these areas, certainly there will be some difficulties, some problems. And for next 24 to 48 hours, today and tomorrow, so we are again keeping red warning for Raigad district, Ghat region of Pune district, then Nasik district and Palghar district.
With one rain-related tragedy after another claiming lives in Mumbai, the spotlight is now firmly on the city's civic administration. Citizens are asking how many more lives will be lost before effective preventive action is taken. Questions are mounting over whether the BMC has done enough to identify dangerous buildings, prune hazardous trees, and strengthen monsoon preparedness measures. Critics say the city continues to witness the same pattern of accidents year after year, despite repeated warnings and repeated promises of action. There is also growing public anger over what many see as civic apathy and a failure to act on known risks before disaster strikes. Every tragedy is followed by inquiries and assurances, but families affected by these incidents are demanding concrete action rather than routine responses. As Mumbai counts its dead and braces for more rain, the big question remains, why do these incidents keep recurring, and when will accountability be fixed for the lapses that continue to put the lives at risk? Of course, focusing on the BMC when we ask those big questions. Anuj is back with us. Anuj, what's the latest in terms of the BMC? What is the latest response that we have from them? You have the opposition digging in its heels. You have the Chief Minister, of course, holding that review meeting. But the focus and the questions are also being directed to the BMC at this point when it comes to Mumbai.
Prevention mode since morning. The only communication that the BMC has established with the people and with the media is about the measures that the people need to take. We know, as we've been speaking about it for a while, the orange alert was updated to red alert, and with that the BMC also let out a number of things that these residents should do, and the primary thing that they need to take care of is not stepping out of the houses if it is completely necessary. Other than that, we have close to 15,000 BMC workers who have been deployed in different parts of the city at the moment. We know that there are several lower lying water areas where water usually gets logged whenever there is even a small amount of rainfall, be it Dadar East, Matunga, or some other interior parts of Kurla as well. One small positive out of this entire mayhem-driven episode is that those areas this time around have been kept free from waterlogging. Yes, there have been tree falling incidents, there have been open manholes, problems like those still persist on, but the waterlogging problems with which we've been covering for so long and which have become the central focal point of Mumbai's rain, this time around, at least in the city part, weren't as prevailing or as strong as they were earlier. So that clearly means that the workers on the ground for the BMC are working well. But what is still missing is a long-term plan. Yes, they have suspended a few officials who were held accountable for the deaths either in Chembur or in Kurla yesterday. But besides that, there is no real long-term plan about countering the situation that lies ahead. Now, we know that since yesterday, a great deal of communication from either the BMC mayor or the BMC commissioner, that is Ashwini Bhide, has been about the wind, the gusty winds. The pace at which the winds are going around across the city is increasing since yesterday. I'm currently standing in Shivaji Park area where several trees came down yesterday. yesterday and they still remain here. Now what remains to be seen in what exactly is the plan B, because this is something that the BMC didn't really mention in their earlier plan. So do they have a plan B to manage or to make sure that the gusty winds do not prove to be a hurdle in front of the residents? Because even if the rains go away, residents will have to come back on the streets of the city, and if the winds persist then as well, then the safety of the residents will surely be a top concern for the authority.
Anuj, thanks for joining me live there. Well, politics has also intensified over monsoon mayhem in Maharashtra, as Mumbai's monsoon has once again exposed serious questions over our civic infrastructure and public safety. At least 6 people, like I said, have died in a building collapse, while rain-related deaths have claimed more lives across the city. The opposition has launched a sharp attack on the Mahayuti government. Congress has alleged that years of corruption in the BMC are responsible for rain-related deaths. The Samajwadi Party has claimed that he repeatedly raised the issue. We're talking about an MLA from the Samajwadi Party. Abu Azmi has claimed that he repeatedly raised the issue of illegal construction in the assembly, accusing the government of failing to act. UBT, also Shiv Sena, has questioned who will take responsibility for the 6 deaths in that building collapse.
भाई साहब रोज हाउस में बोल रहा हूँ, रोज हाउस इस बात को उठा रहा हूँ कि साहब ये जो है ना इलीगल काम को बंद किया जाए। जहाँ भी इलीगल काम को करने के लिए रिश्वत मिलेगी ना, तो पब्लिक रिश्वत देके बनाएगी, क्योंकि गरीब लोग हैं।
6 लोगों की एक साथ मौत होना दिखाता है कि मुंबई महानगर पालिका का प्रशासन कितना बड़ा गैर जिम्मेदाराना है और लापरवाह है। इसका कौन देगा जवाब कि इन मौतों का जिम्मेदार कौन है?
पिछले 5 दिनों में 10 लोगों की मुंबई में हत्या हो गई है और इस हत्या का जिम्मेदार मुंबई महानगर पालिका है। हाई कोर्ट ने इसमें हस्तक्षेप करके इमीडिएटली मुंबई महानगर पालिका पे इन 10 लोगों के मरने का केस दाखिल होना चाहिए। बच्चे स्कूल से घर जाते हुए मर रहे, मोटरसाइकिल चलाते हुए लोग मर रहे हैं, बिल्डिंग में रहने वाले लोग मर रहे हैं। मुंबई का टोटल फेल्योर है, मुंबई महानगर पालिका का टोटल फेल्योर है। इसके लिए इमीडिएटली सरकार ने इसके ऊपर कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए।
ये बरस में जो पाउस जोर से गिरता है, इतना गिरा, इतना बरस में कभी इतना गिरा नहीं है। और जो रोड पर जो झाड़ होते हैं, झाड़ भी गिर गए हैं, वो भी इतने कभी गिरे नहीं। जो पहले थे इन्होंने क्या किया, मैं भी उधर था 85 में, मैं काउंसिलर था, मेरे को मालूम है। लेकिन किसको उंगली दिखाना ये अच्छा नहीं है।
नहीं, ऐसा कोई नहीं। ये तो झाड़ जो है वो बहुत पुराना झाड़ है। जो चेंबूर में और मानकुर में ये साइड में जो झाड़ गिर रहे हैं वो बहुत पुराने झाड़ है, 50 साल के पुराने झाड़ है। वो झाड़ का सर्वे करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। वो सर्वे करके जितने भी झाड़ है उनका सर्वे करके उनका कटिंग करके उनको ये रखना चाहिए। आज मानकुर में जो झोपड़पट्टी गिरा है, झोपड़पट्टी में 6 आदमी का जो मौत हुआ है वो बहुत निषेधार्थ है, बहुत बुरा हुआ है। तो मैं इतना ही कहना चाहता हूँ कि ये सारे के
The Mumbai-Pune missing link project has been shut after reports of rain-related damage and leaks just 2 months after its inauguration. Visuals from the site showed water leaks inside and the tunnel and damage to sections of that project. The missing link project, inaugurated just a few months back, is a 13-kilometer bypass on the Mumbai-Pune expressway that passes through the Sahyadri Hills. Meanwhile, the closure of the missing link stretch, coupled with heavy rainfall, triggered massive traffic congestion on the Pune-Mumbai expressway, with long queues of vehicles reported at a standstill there. The closure has triggered major concern and a political controversy, with the opposition Congress alleging serious infrastructural failure and corruption in the execution of that multi-crore project. They claim the project has failed its very first monsoon test and is an example of poor quality construction and the lack of accountability. In news just coming in, among the front runners to succeed Champat Rai as General Secretary of the Ram Mandir Trust is Bajrang Bagra. According to sources, Bagra is the International General Secretary of the VHP, a chartered accountant and former head of PSU NALCO, and is seen as someone with the administrative and financial expertise to help professionalize the trust's functioning. According to sources, the idea is to bring in someone with a strong grasp of governance, finance and institutional administration as the trust enters its next phase. Sources also indicate that while Champatrai's resignation as General Secretary is likely to be accepted today, he is expected to continue as a trustee unless he chooses otherwise. We have Gauri now joining me live on the story from Ayodhya. Gauri, why is Bagra considered the front runner and the strongest candidate?
Vedika, you did mention some of those points. Let me reiterate that, which is essentially, see, we are talking about a meeting that is taking place at a time when there are serious questions being asked with regard to administrative lapses and questions regarding SOPs, whether enough SOPs are in place or not, whether financial management of the temple funds, donations can be done in a more transparent, accountable manner. That's essentially what this comes down to. And in that regard, Mr. Bangar is being seen as someone who's had a background in some managing finances, also someone who is ideologically aligned to Brahmandir Trust. He's from the VHP. So to that extent, he is being considered right now. But there are two important questions here that need to be understood before we, of course, go out and say that it could be Bangar or not. Question number one, whether or not Champatrai's resignation will be accepted today or not. In the event it is, then of course some of these chain reaction events will follow. If, however, his resignation is not accepted today, then of course it remains to be seen how the temple trust management will take shape tomorrow, going forward. And the second important bit is the kind of cognizance that the temple trust takes towards the initial findings of the SIT. I think that is going to be indicative of how they view now the next course or the course correction that I think is going to send a larger message that the Temple Trust would aim to do so in the event of some of these allegations that have actually added to a lot of mistrust and deep questions with regard to the financial management or mismanagement and administrative lapses with regard to this temple. Of course, these are all allegations yet to be proven, but those two essentially are the larger things to watch out for in the meeting that starts in about 2 hours.
All right, and about less than 2 hours from now, you'll have Gauri with all the details that you need, the inside track after the meeting as well, on whether the front runner that we just mentioned is going to be the man at the helm of affairs for a while. But the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust will hold a crucial meeting today at about 3 o'clock regarding alleged donation embezzlement. The investigation into donation theft case has, of course, intensified over the last few weeks. The police has recorded statements of 60 people, and we're told that they will be recording the statement of another 140 people. Police will also record statements of Gopal Rao and Anil Mishra. Also, the police are now examining the assets of all those associated with the trust, including Champatrai. The resignation of General Secretary Champatrai and Trustee Anil Mishra are expected to be discussed during that trust meeting, as Gauri pointed out. The meeting will review interim SIT findings and plan for a new administrative structure, including a potential CEO appointment. Financial statements for the year 25-26 fiscal year will also be presented for approval.
बजे बैठक है मंदिर में मंदिर परिसर में होगा। नृत्य गोपाल दास जी करेंगे।
अरे इतना काम किया है संगठन ने कि यही नहीं किया, अयोध्या में किया, उज्जैन में किया और वाराणसी में किया। इतने लोग आने लगे कि कमरे बड़े महंगे जाने लगे, रिक्शे वालों का काम चल गया, सारे लोगों का काम बना है। बड़े उत्साह की बात, जो कसर होगी फैसले के बाद आगे जो बाकी है तो और हो जाएगा।
The political battle over the Ram Mandir theft has also intensified. BJP and opposition parties have traded sharp accusations over the donation row. BJP has called the opposition anti-Hindu, while the opposition has maintained its stance, saying big fish are being shielded. BJP President Nitin Nabin has accused the opposition of being anti-Hindu and claimed it has repeatedly questioned the faith in Lord Ram. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath alleged that the opposition has become anti-India in its bid to oppose the BJP. Hitting back, Shiv Sena UBT Chief Uddhav Thackeray accused the government of misusing Hindutva and said those looting Hindus are in power, calling the alleged temple theft an insult to Hindutva.
ये वे लोग हैं जिनकी अपनी कोई विचारधारा नहीं, भारत का विरोध करना, भाजपा का विरोध करते करते कब वे भारत का विरोध करेंगे, कोई पता नहीं। उनके दैनिक दिनचर्या का हिस्सा है। वे निरंतर इसके साथ लगे रहते हैं। वे लगातार इन कर्मों के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं। उनकी आस्था तब आहत नहीं होती है जब बाबरी ढांचे का समर्थन वे लोग करते हैं, तब भारत की आस्था की चिंता उनको नहीं होती है। जब वह भारत के मानबिंदुओं का अपमान करते हैं।
अयोध्या धाम की घटना बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, लेकिन पूरा हिंदुस्तान जानता है और सनातन संस्कृति का एक एक बच्चा जानता है कि समाजवादी पार्टी कांग्रेस के लोगों ने लगातार राम मंदिर का विरोध किया था और ये लोग कहते थे कि अयोध्या धाम में रामलला पैदा हुए कि नहीं पैदा हुए ये भी स्पष्ट नहीं है। और आज उनके मन में इस बात का दर्द है, दोरंगी चाल चलते हैं। और कांग्रेस समाजवादी पार्टी के लोगों को तो अयोध्या धाम पर चर्चा करने का भी हक नहीं है। यही लोग हैं जो भूमाफिया बताते थे प्रभु श्री राम के मंदिर का जब निर्माण हो रहा था। और प्रभु श्री राम को लेकर के जिस ढंग से इन्होंने टिप्पणियां की हैं, प्रभु श्री राम इन्हें कभी माफ नहीं करेंगे।
अरे चौकीदार कुछ चोर है, वो क्या पनिशमेंट देंगे? एंड हु आर दे टू सीक पनिशमेंट? व्हाई डिड दे वेट फॉर सो लॉन्ग? उनके भाई लोग ही किए ना ये सब, as if they don't know. In fact, I am 100% sure some funds must have gone to them also.
राम नाम की लूट की तो हमने चर्चा सुनी थी, पर राम के नाम पर डकैती, चोरी और लूट वो भी भगवान श्री राम के मंदिर में अब सामने आ गई है। अलग अलग तरीकों से चढ़ावे में भगवान राम जी के मंदिर को लूटा गया। जमीन खरीद में सैकड़ों हजारों करोड़ में लोगों के, राम भक्तों के द्वारा दिए गए पैसे को लूटा गया। सिंधी समाज ने 200 के करीब शिलाएं चांदी की दी, उन्हें भी लूट लिया। और अब ये सामने आ रहा है वृंदावन में भी लूट, बाबा केदारनाथ के घर में भी लूट।
मैं पहला व्यक्ति हूं जो अयोध्या के अंदर आम जनमानस के साथ या परिक्षेत्र जिसमें देवी पाटन है, बाराबंकी है, अंबेडकर नगर है, इनके साथ क्या हुआ ये सारे विषय में पहले रख चुका हूं और लगभग 4-5 साल पहले से मैं इस विषय को रख रहा हूं। अयोध्या को एकदम ऐसे तर्ज पर, जैसे पीएम हाउस की सिक्योरिटी होती है, जैसे राष्ट्रपति भवन की सिक्योरिटी होती है, उस तर्ज पर इसको सिक्योरिटी करना चाहिए था। और सिक्योरिटी के बहाने कर दिया और जिसका खामियाजा ये हुआ कि आज राम मंदिर से आम जनमानस कट गया, गरीब कट गया, अयोध्या से कट गया। और रहा सवाल जो मैंने भ्रष्टाचार के बारे में बोला था, मैं तब बोला था जब किसी ने नहीं बोला था, तब मैंने बोला था। आज भी अयोध्या के अंदर बैरियर लगे हुए हैं।
सरकार पूरी प्रामाणिकता से कार्य कर रही है और मैं कह सकता हूं कि ये इसलिए बहुत कष्टकारक है। कहा जाता है भगवान राम का नाम लेने से पाप कटते हैं, और यदि राम के धाम में राम के नाम पर किसी ने पाप किया है तो उसे मुझे लगता है कि शायद साक्षात ब्रह्मा जी भी नहीं बचा सकते।
उन तमाम संगठनों का जो गैर जिम्मेदाराना हरकतें हैं वो भी आपके सामने एक्सपोज हो रही हैं। आज आलोक कुमार विश्व हिंदू परिषद के, उन्होंने पत्र लिखा इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग ऑफिसर को, जिसमें प्रियंका जी, अखिलेश जी, रामगोपाल यादव जी, तमाम ऐसे नेताओं के नाम लिखे और उनसे सबूत मांगने का आग्रह किया है उसे कि साहब वो सबूत देंगे चोरी डकैती कैसे हुई। अरे चोरी कोई और करे, सबूत कोई और दे।
In news just coming in, trouble appears to be mounting for Diljit Dosanjh's controversial film Satluj. Advocate Vinny Jindal has now approached the Ministry of Home Affairs alleging that the film spreads misinformation and promotes sympathy for terrorism, violent extremism and separatist ideology, according to him, which is linked to Punjab's insurgency era of the 1980s and 90s. In his complaint, Jindal has sought the registration of an FIR against actor Dosanjh and the film's director and the streaming platform. We have Nupur now joining me live. More trouble, Nupur, for Diljit Dosanjh as well as the cast and the movie. The latest complaint adds to the growing controversy surrounding the film already.
Well, Vedika, the main allegation that the lawyer Vineet Jindal has made in his letter to MHA seems to suggest that the movie was released without implementing the cuts recommended by the CBFC. Now, the letter which has been addressed to the MHA reads that despite several cuts suggested by the CBFC, and the petition was further filed against them by the filmmakers in Bombay High Court. However, that was withdrawn. Now, the lawyer in his letter to the MHA has alleged that they have changed the name of the movie from Punjab 1985 to Satluj, but they have not implemented the cuts suggested by the CBFC. So this is the basic grounds on which he is seeking action against the filmmakers and Diljit Dosanjh, alleging that his movie is a kind of spreading and promoting the Khalistani ideology and communal can in fact instigate communal violence as well. So this is the crux of the letter that has been written to the MHA. However, it remains to be seen whether the MHA would actually act on it or whether there is any evidence to back it.
Nupur, as always, thanks for joining me here on Breaking Ground. Now, after years of delays and controversy, Diljit Dosanjh's long-awaited film Punjab 95, which was released on Z5 under the new title Satluj, has been taken down from the streaming platform in India. As per sources, the decision to take down Satluj was taken after careful review. The film had earlier applied for a theatrical release but was not approved in the form in which it was submitted. Sources say concerns were raised over certain portions of the film. Dosanjh has broken his silence on the ban with a cryptic social media post stating, and I quote him here, "I challenge darkness." He also said that now the film will not be stopped and Kalra's voice cannot be silenced. Politics has also broken out over the move, with Akali Dal chief calling it an assault on collective memory.
शुक्रवार ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਸੀ। ਤੋ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੀ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਯੈਸ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਮੰਡੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਫ਼ਤਰ ਖੁੱਲਣਗੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਫਿਲਮ ਬੈਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ, ਪਰ ਸੰਡੇ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਜੂਗੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਪਰ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੀਗਾ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕੱਲ ਕਰ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ। ਇਹ ਡੇ 1 ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ, ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ, ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਦੱਸੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਲਮ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ। ਜੇ ਦੱਸ ਕੇ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ 2 ਦਿਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਲੱਗਣੀ। ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਫਿਲਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆ ਫਿਲਮ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਿਲਮ ਡਾਊਨਲੋਡ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਣ ਨਵਾਂ यूथ ਆ ਉਹ फिल्म की गल भी कर रहा है।
देखिए 90 के दशक में पंजाब में हिंसा भी हुई और हिंसा के नाम पर बेगुनाहों का कत्ल भी हुआ, उनको मारा भी गया, पुलिस के द्वारा मारा गया। और जिन पुलिस वालों ने उसके खिलाफ विरोध में खड़े होकर कहा कि ये आप गलत कर रहे हैं, उन ऐसे 2000 पुलिस वालों को भी मारा गया। जसवंत सिंह खालड़ा ने वह सारा विषय उठाया था और बाद में जसवंत सिंह खालड़ा की ही मृत्यु संदिग्ध तरीके से हो गई। और ये जो अब OTT प्लेटफॉर्म पे फिल्म रिलीज़ हुई है पंजाब 95 की जगह उसका नाम नया सतलुज रख दिया गया है। अपेक्षा करते हैं कि लोग इस बात को याद रखेंगे और जो संस्थाएं हैं, जो सरकारें हैं, वो इस पे चिंता करते हुए जो जख्म हरे हैं उनको भरने की कोशिश करेंगी।
In news from West Bengal, politics has intensified over the death of an 11-year-old girl in West Bengal's Baruipur. Trinamool Congress has accused the BJP of trying to block the Chief Minister's visit, calling it an attack on democratic rights. Mamata Banerjee alleged she was prevented from meeting the victim's family, claiming heavy police deployment and barricades were used to restrict her movement. She called the incident shocking and said the situation has become dangerous, raising serious concerns over women's safety in the state. Meanwhile, Abhishek Banerjee spoke to the victim's mother, inquiring about the police investigations and action taken on the family's complaint. Earlier, the minor girl's body was recovered from the area, triggering widespread protests. Police have arrested 4 people in connection with this case.
নমস্কার মাসিমা, কেমন আছেন? আপনারা শক্ত থাকুন, আপনারা শক্ত থাকুন। আপনার কি এক মেয়ে? আপনারা থানায় কমপ্লেন করেছেন? পুলিশ কোনো ব্যবস্থা নেয়নি এখনো? যে ছেলেটি ধরা পড়েছিল সে কি যুক্ত ছিল এর সাথে, যাকে ছাড়িয়ে নিয়ে গেছেন?
इसमें तुरंत कार्रवाई किया, हम लोग तुरंत कार्रवाई किया है। उनका गार्डियन का साथ भी कल मेरा बात हुआ है। उनका गार्डियन का उनका जो डिमांड नहीं, लेजिटिमेट जिनका जो सुझाव था, उम्मीद था सरकार के ऊपर, सरकार पूरा करना चालू कर दिया। 4 आदमी के खिलाफ एफआईआर हुआ है, 2 को अरेस्ट किया, 3 को डिटेन किया हम लोग, उनको इंटरोगेशन चल रहा है, बाकी 2 की भी हम लोग अरेस्ट करूंगा और कैपिटल पनिशमेंट भी होने के लिए जो करना चाहिए होगा। पिछले टाइम पुलिस के हर इश्यू में पुलिस को काम करने के लिए रुकावट था, पुलिस को काम करने के लिए इजाजत नहीं था, सब काम राजनीति से आधारित था। हम लोग तमन्ना को 13 आदमी को तुरंत गिरफ्तार कर दिया। यहाँ भी कुछ देख लीजिए, बड़ा एक्शन होगा।
दीदी जाने के लिए तैयार थी, लेकिन वो लोग जाने नहीं दे रहा है, पुलिस देके बैरिकेड करके रखा है। ये गणतंत्र में, डेमोक्रेसी में नहीं चलता है। अभी बीजेपी का 2 महीना का जो रूल हुआ उसमें इतना सारे रेप हुआ, अर्जीकर में रेप हुआ, बेहाला ससुना में रेप हुआ, बारीपुर में रेप हुआ, माइनॉरिटी लड़की का पर रेप हुआ। ऐसा होगा, इसको प्रोटेस्ट तो हम लोग करेंगे ही, हम लोग अपोजिशन है, हम लोग प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे। ममता जी को निकालने नहीं दिया, ये नहीं चलेगा, बीजेपी का तानाशाही नहीं चलेगा।
ये क्या चल रहा है बंगाल में, ये क्या चल रहा है, कोलकाता में क्या चल रहा है? आप सबको पता है बारुईपुर में क्या हुआ। हम 1 घंटा पहले यहाँ से गए, आपको हम बोले थे कि विमानदा का एरिया है, विमानदा जरूर जाएंगे। तो दीदी तो मास लीडर है, आज का बात नहीं, दीदी कब की, कितने बार का एमपी है, कितने बार का वो सेंट्रल मिनिस्टर थे, कितने बार का वो चीफ मिनिस्टर थे। वो तो प्रो पीपल मास लीडर है ही। तो वो सोचे थे कि वो जाएंगे, बारुईपुर में इतना हादसा हुआ, इतना घिनौना हादसा हुआ, तो वो जाने के लिए सोचे थे। बस ये क्या हाउस अरेस्ट करके रखा है, या क्या नजरबंदी करके दीदी को वो रोक पाएंगे? क्या सोच रहे हैं ये लोग?
रास्ता में आके घूमती है, कौन हाउस अरेस्ट करेगा? उनको भी ना अंडा खाना पड़े, इसलिए पुलिस की पोस्टिंग किया गया है।
Slipping a short break. When we return, Iran begins a procession through Tehran for the funeral of its late Supreme Leader Khamenei. We bring you a ground report.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया है।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
माँ भी हमेशा पीमार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी, ये आपके लिए।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
P-Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
बरसों से सरसों,
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा प्योर मसाला।
India Inc.'s most respected names chose India Inc.'s best and brightest.
I'm delighted to be chairing a meeting of such distinguished fellow businessmen, bankers. It's just lovely to be back on this NDTV jury. I have been a fan of NDTV for a long time.
Many of the nominees are extremely close together in terms of what they've done.
Gender parity to be reflected while we choose leadership as well.
It's also important that how they are reshaping the industries.
We got a fantastic jury and we've left all decisions to the wisdom of the jury.
Who will earn India's top business honors? Find out at the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards.
Our Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones.
This location from Tel Aviv
Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to him at length yesterday.
The Ayatollah Khamenei is gone. There has been a missile attack right behind you, and we need to rush into a shelter. Heading there. Will Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli resign?
And now, Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद, हर रोज।
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P-Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
सरसों से सरसों।
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindoor.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
6 people have been killed after a building collapsed in Mumbai following heavy rainfall. And as Mumbai grapples with another spell of heavy rain and the loss of lives in a building collapse, the tragedy has taken a political dimension. Well, the Uddhav Thackeray Sena has targeted the Maharashtra government over their deaths, questioning who will take responsibility for what it describes as preventable losses. Anand Dubey has said the city is witnessing deaths with every bout of heavy rainfall. He has demanded accountability from Devendra Fadnavis's administration. We've got crucial reactions lined up for you. Listen in.
6 लोगों की एक साथ मौत होना यह दिखाता है कि मुंबई महानगर पालिका का प्रशासन कितना बड़ा गैर जिम्मेदाराना है और लापरवाह है। इसका कौन देगा जवाब कि इन मौतों का जिम्मेदार कौन है?
Well, you must note, it is tragic. There have been 9 deaths in 6 days in Mumbai alone. Abhishek Awasthi has been tracking all the cases for us and the ground reality too. He joins us live at the moment. Abhishek, has the Maharashtra government or the BMC responded to these allegations coming in? 6 deaths in this latest building collapse now?
Definitely, they have responded in the manner by
Welcome back. The final journey of Iran's late supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is now underway in Tehran. Thousands of mourners are gathering in the capital for days-long ceremony. Dressed in black, crowds move towards the main venue carrying banners and flags in tribute. Chants of no compromise, no surrender, only revenge also echoed through that gathering. Senior members of the IRGC were also present, but it is the absence of one figure that is drawing attention. Here's a special report.
The streets of Tehran are turning into a sea of black. Millions are expected to join the funeral procession of Iran's former supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei after a 2-day public farewell gripped the nation. Crowds have poured into Tehran to pay tribute to Ali Khamenei, the man who ruled the Islamic Republic for more than 3 decades. Senior leaders, military commanders, and thousands of supporters have gathered for the ceremony. Revolutionary Guards Chief Ahmad Wahidi was also present. Three of Khamenei's sons, Masood, Mustafa, and Maysam, made their presence felt by standing beside their father's coffin. But amid the mourning, one absence has become the biggest talking point. Iran's new supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei did not appear in public. His absence has intensified speculation that he may have been wounded in the US-Israel strikes that killed his father. The rumors remain unconfirmed, but they continue to swirl across Iran and beyond.
خیلی دوست داشتم در مراسمات حسینیه مراسمات اسد آقا شرکت بکنم قسمتمون نشد و تنها روزی که تونستیم بیام پیش آقا این شکلی و آقا رو جان فدای ایران دیدیم و ته دلم امید دارم خوشحالم که حسین مجتبی خامنه‌ای عزیز این پرچم رو به دست گرفته.
Images from the funeral procession also showed some mourners carrying banners that read "Kill Trump," with a graphic of a bullet passing through the US president's name. Other mourners held placards featuring US Vice President J.D. Vance, US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu, carrying the message, "There will be blood." As millions prepare to accompany Ali Khamenei on his final journey, Iran is mourning the end of one era while watching closely for signs of another. Bureau Report for NDTV World.
And my colleague Nazir, who is in Tehran, brings you the latest in this ground report.
Funeral procession of Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei has started in Tehran. After yesterday's funeral prayers, and today it is the biggest procession which is marching on different parts of Tehran. Today it would be in Tehran, and lakhs of people, hundreds of thousands of people are marching with this funeral procession, which has been historic, and over the last few days millions of people have joined these funeral ceremonies. Today would be in Tehran, tomorrow it would go to religious town of Qom, where also funeral prayers will be held. Then on the 8th it would be in Najaf and in Karbala, and on 9th Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei's body will be buried in Mashhad. So it is an elaborate funeral ceremony. While it is not just the mourning, tears, it's also the collective resolve of the people of Iran, particularly the supporters of Ayatollah Khamenei, that they now want revenge from United States and Israel. Everywhere you see red flags, you see banners which is calling for revenge, and it has been happening everywhere. There are intense anger and hatred against Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. That's what we see all these days here in Tehran, and people have been mourning, but at the same time showing collective resolve. There are different forms of resistance, and Irani people are saying clearly that nothing can defeat them, and they will continue to fight against what they call Zionism and the United States. And we see here over the last several days how people have turned this funeral ceremony into a collective resolve of Iranian people, showing they are one. And the government here is clearly saying that the threats from the United States, the way Donald Trump said that it is not going, it may kill people, but it will never kill an idea. And the idea is like Ayatollah Khamenei. He may have been killed on 28th of February, but when his funeral ceremony is taking place, a lot has changed. In fact, it has redefined the journey of Iran itself. It has reimagined the Iran, the way world looks towards Iran, the world thinks about Iran, and how Iran has positioned itself. People from representatives from more than 100 countries have joined the funeral ceremony of Ayatollah Khamenei, including India sent both official and unofficial delegations here. So it is an elaborate, this funeral ceremony here in Tehran, and the biggest funeral procession. It is seen as funeral of the century.
In FIFA news, Erling Haaland struck 2 late goals as Norway stand record 5 times champions Brazil 2-1 in the World Cup last 16 on Sunday to send the Scandinavian team into their first quarter-final. More in this report.
The Viking fans were rowing in Times Square, inside and outside the New Jersey Stadium. Their team, a bunch of upstarts led by the most incredible performances of Erling Haaland, has knocked 5-time champions Brazil out of the FIFA World Cup 2026. The Samba boys missed a penalty in the first half. Bruno Guimarães squandered a golden chance. He became the first Brazilian player since Zico in 1986 to fail to convert a penalty in a World Cup game. They defended well till the 79th minute, where an Andreas Schellderup stunning cross found Haaland and he planted it to the bottom corner. The second one was a thunderbolt from the man called the Terminator. This was Haaland's maiden FIFA World Cup appearance, and he delivered 3 braces plus 1 more goal in 4 games, scoring in every single game. This is the first time in World Cup history that 3 players have scored 7+ goals in a single edition of the tournament. It has also pulled the Norwegian level with Mbappe and Messi in the race for the Golden Boot. Neymar converted a spot kick in the stoppage time, but it was too little too late. So a sad end to what was most likely his last World Cup. He sat on the pitch inconsolable. Carlo Ancelotti and his men were stunned. In the end, it was Norway 2, Brazil 1. Odegaard threw his manager in front of the Norway fans to receive their applause as a deep roar of the Vikings began. Haaland beating the drum, everyone rowing in unison once again. Rika Roy for NDTV.
And with that, it's a wrap on Breaking Ground. Thanks for watching. News and updates continue here on NDTV 24/7.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया है।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
माँ भी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी, ये आपके लिए।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P-Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
सरसों से सरसों, थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, राजा और मसाला।
India Inc.'s most respected names chose India Inc.'s best and brightest.
I'm delighted to be chairing of such distinguished fellow businessmen, bankers. It's just lovely to be back on this NDTV jury. I have been a fan of NDTV for a long time.
Many of the nominees are extremely close together in terms of what they've done.
Gender parity to be reflected while we choose leadership as well.
It's also important that how they are reshaping the industries.
We got a fantastic jury, and we've left all decisions to the wisdom of the jury.
Who will earn India's top business honors? Find out at the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, delicious, healthy every day.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea, witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones.
This location from Tel Aviv
Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to him at length yesterday.
The Ayatollah Khamenei is gone. There has been a missile attack right behind you, and we need to rush into a shelter. Heading there. Will Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli resign?
And now, Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसली, स्वादिष्ट सेहतमंद हर रोज।
माँ भी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। PMark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
The front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
So many attacks.
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. And Iran. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
6 people have been killed after a building collapsed in Mumbai following heavy rainfall. And as Mumbai grapples with another spell of heavy rain and the loss of lives in a building collapse, the tragedy has taken a political dimension. Well, the Uddhav Thackeray Sena has targeted the Maharashtra government over their deaths, questioning who will take responsibility for what it describes as preventable losses. Anand Dubey has said the city is witnessing deaths with every bout of heavy rainfall. He has demanded accountability from Devendra Fadnavis's administration. We've got crucial reactions lined up for you. Listen in.
6 लोगों की एक साथ मौत होना यह दिखाता है कि मुंबई महानगर पालिका का प्रशासन कितना बड़ा गैर जिम्मेदाराना है और लापरवाह है। इसका कौन देगा जवाब कि इन मौतों का जिम्मेदार कौन है?
Well, you must note, it is tragic. There have been 9 deaths in 6 days in Mumbai alone. Abhishek Awasthi has been tracking all the cases for us and the ground reality too. He joins us live at the moment. Abhishek, has the Maharashtra government or the BMC responded to these allegations coming in? 6 deaths in this latest building collapse now?
Definitely, they have responded in the manner by giving an inquiry or conducting an inquiry or investigation into the entire matter. We're right present at the spot and you can clearly see, ground plus 3-story, I would say illegal structure suddenly collapsed yesterday night and costing around 6 lives, out of which 5 innocent children have died along with a woman. And definitely, how these structures were allowed in first place is a big question. Second, were there regular audit or any kind of survey inspection? Because the local MLA out here, Abu Azmi, has alleged that he has frequently raised this issue of illegal construction. And you can see, apart from the site where incident has taken place, these other structures in the nearby areas are at a major risk. In fact, you can say, anytime the incident might take place and injuries could take place. So definitely precautionary, these 2-3 structures where people have been removed. But what about the in totality? Why these illegal structures in first place are allowed? And if they are allowed, why inspections have been not done? And definitely politics is now being played up over the entire issue, where we see the Shiv Sena UBT is directly asking the question to the administration, who is responsible for the loss of life? And in fact, since the red alert is in place and from past 2 to 3 days, several incidences of tree collapse have taken place, balcony collapse, such kind of structures have collapsed, causing around 9 deaths. in total in the city of Mumbai. Who is responsible for that? And opposition is targeting the local administration. On the other side, BMC is definitely responding in a manner where
a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to all our viewers. Thanks for tuning into NDTV. This is the Southern View. For the next half hour, me and my colleagues will take you through the top stories that's making news in the southern part of India. Joining me on this special broadcast, of course, is Ritu Rajpurohit from Bengaluru. We also have Vijay joining us from Tamil Nadu. My other colleagues will also eventually be on the show, bringing you all the updates. First up, it's news from Karnataka. It's a huge flashpoint once again over SIR, but this time, it's the NDA, the BJP and the JDS that has now sparked off several questions and raising objections to how the SIR process is underway in Karnataka. Union Ministers Prahlad Joshi and Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy are leading the charge against the Congress government here in the state. They are saying that the BLOs are not operating as per directions of the Election Commission. They're saying enumeration forms that needs to be filled out is not being handed over to people in their houses, but instead it's being handed over inside masjids, it's being handed over inside community halls, and it's not happening the way it should. They're raising some serious objections to how things are playing out. But as far as the Congress party is concerned, they are saying it's ironical that the NDA today is raising objections to the SIR, and all that the Congress party and their agents are doing is trying and helping people who are uneducated just fill up their forms. And they're also saying that the Election Commission also gives a provision to the BLAs to actually go ahead and help people. So the debate, of course, starts with the charge coming in from the BJP. Let's listen in to these reactions.
ಇದು ಅವರು SIRನ ಅವರವ್ರ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನು ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಇದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಸರ್ಕಾರದವರು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮಧ್ಯಪ್ರವೇಶ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನು ಆತಂಕ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇಷ್ಟು ಜಾಗೃತಿ ಮೂಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಭಯ ಇದೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವರು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ರದ್ದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಅದು ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಂಥ ವಿಚಾರ.
Today, again, we have given all documentary evidences how this government misusing the office by giving direction to our officers, how to behave and how to illegally actually include the names for the future their actually interest. For that reason, they have misusing the office of the government.
The forms which have to be distributed, those forms, they are being distributed in madrasa, in masjid, in local leader, Congress local leader, residents, and some of the Muslim locality to given to imams, mutawallis, and they are doing it. And what is being done is, even DCs have given, some of the DCs and some of the ROs, AROs, they have given statement. Father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, these are considered as the relatives. But they themselves, they have given a statement saying that all relatives are okay. Then what is this nonsense is what is happening? And
there have been complete lapses with regard to the implementation of the SIR when it comes to the enumeration forms. The official machinery has been completely misused by the Congress government. They are trying to take advantage of the officials. They are doing the enumeration in public spaces, which is not permitted, like in a mosque, place of worship, community. All have been misused to do the enumeration drive. So seriously, it should have been done door to door. It is very glaring. It has been glaring. So far, nobody has been suspended. Very surprising. And even the ministers have been, directly attacking the Election Commission. No notice has been issued. So we wanted to bring it to the notice of the Election Commission.
Mr. Kumaraswamy has been used by Bharatiya Janata Party and Mr. Prahlad Joshi regarding this SIR. Mrs. Kumaraswamy was elected by almost a gap of 1 lakh votes. Were there not any Bangladeshis at that point of time? This is a vague allegations they are making on SIR. Election Commission has clearly, given the guidelines. BLA 2 has got all the rights to go down, collect the forms, distribute the forms. After BLO distributes the form, BLAs can collect those forms and submit back to the Election Commission. All are not literate in this country, especially in the slum areas and the remote villages, and that too in minorities. There's a little lesser literacy. And what is wrong if somebody goes and help them to fill up the forms? And if it is masjid, is there any law that these forms cannot be filled up in enumeration forms should not be filled in masjid or temple or in community halls?
इलेक्शन कमीशन क्या डायरेक्शन दिया था उसके वजह से नहीं हो रहा है। इलेक्शन कमीशन घर घर जा कर के फार्म इशू करने के लिए बोला। अभी क्या कर रहा है कर्नाटक में, मसीदी में जा कर के, मदरसा में जा कर के बल्क इशू कर रहा है। एक एक जगह में कांग्रेस BLA 2 रहता है ना, उसके हाथ में 100 फार्म 200 फार्म दे रहा है। ऐसा इलेक्शन कमीशन का डायरेक्शन है ही क्या? इलेक्शन कमीशन का डायरेक्शन है घर घर जा कर के फार्म इशू करना, ऐसा बोला है। कर्नाटक में कांग्रेस सरकार का दबाव के वजह से कुछ लोकल ऑफिसर वो कांग्रेसियों को मदद करने के लिए बल्क में मसीदी में जा कर के दे रहा है।
So as you heard from both the BJP and the JDS, the charge is very direct. They're saying that the Congress here is trying to manipulate the entire SIR process. They're not following the guidelines set forth by the Election Commission. And as far as the Congress party is concerned, they are saying the guidelines allow for BLAs to actually collect these forms and submit them 50 per day is what they're saying that the Election Commission itself allows. And this is an unnecessary controversy that's being raised by the BJP with nothing else that they can actually manage. And they're also here questioning how many of their own leaders won, in the elections previously, if they're trying to say that it was a lot of people, especially from other countries like Bangladesh, who migrated into places like, Bengaluru, Chikmagaluru, or Kodagu or other surrounding areas, and their names are the ones that needs to be deleted, and Congress trying to add them is the charge that's coming from the NDA, which of course is being refuted vehemently by the Congress party. We'll of course continue to track all the developments as far as SIR in Karnataka is concerned. Meanwhile, it's been a month since the cabinet names did come out. That's the first list, and Mr. Yatindra Siddaramaiah, the son of the former chief minister, is one of them in the cabinet. He was allocated the portfolio of the urban development department. Today there's some controversy surrounding that. My colleague Ritu will take you through the details. Ritu.
Well, thank you, Deepak. As you pointed out, we've been seeing how that there is a new controversy that has begun here in Karnataka, and this is related to Yatindra Siddaramaiah, who is the son of the former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Now, there you have an activist forum who has written a letter to the Karnataka Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar, stating that the Chief Minister basically need to reassign a portfolio to Yatindra Siddaramaiah, who holds urban development portfolio at this point in time. Now, this mainly because there's an FIR that's been registered against Yatindra Siddaramaiah and also his parents as well, Siddaramaiah, and mother as well there again. Now, this whole related to the Muda alternative site allocation. That's where you have the forum arguing very strongly, stating that there might be some sort of an influence during this whole court proceedings that are on as well regarding the Muda Rao, as well as with the investigation still continuing with the other accused as well. So that's the reason there needs to be a portfolio a different portfolio that needs to be assigned to Yatindra Siddaramaiah in place of the urban development. Now, needs to be seen whether that the Chief Minister will really consider this letter that's coming from the forum activists that way. But let's listen into how the Congress leaders are basically reacting to this whole controversy.
I have nothing to say on what NGOs have said. Today only will let us confine to SIR. On those issues, I'll come on some other day.
Well, however, needs to be seen going forward what really is going to happen in this whole matter. But there's one incident that's coming in, a quite sad incident from Bagalkot there, where that, a school gate basically collapsed on 4 students. What we are given to understand is that one really met with a serious injury, while 3, have also met with an injuries. Now, all of them remain to be in the hospital, where that the treatment is on this in this whole matter. But this is not for the first time that we are seeing such an incident coming to the light from from Karnataka that way. But we have seen in the past as well such incidents really coming to the fore on those lines. But what we are given to understand is that all these 4 children are undergoing a treatment. There on our screen that you can see the visuals, how that critical injuries were can be seen on these students that way. But you see, you have the locals who are claiming that this is not for the first time that this the school gate, the government school gate, has collapsed on the student. But in the past as well, in the 1 year, multiple times that this same gate had collapsed as well. But there has not been any kind of an official investigation that has taken place. Why was that it was not replaced as well that way? But that's the sad incident that has really come from the Karnataka. But that's all from the state of Karnataka. Now let's go across to my colleague Vijay in the neighboring state Tamil Nadu, who brings us more news. Vijay, over to you.
Thank you, Ritu. We have breaking news from Tamil Nadu. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, once again, Karur stampede tragedy is on limelight. Remember, 41 people lost their life during TVK Chief Vijay's roadshow in Karur district during 2025. Now, DMK has moved the Supreme Court against alleging that TVK ministers and TVK leaders are influencing the eyewitnesses and also family victims. So this why they have suddenly moved the Supreme Court is following the remarks made by TVK Minister Adav Arjuna. Very recently, TVK Minister Adav Arjuna has mentioned saying that TVK has personal scores to settle as far as Karur tragedy is concerned. He also said they won't leave anyone who are all responsible for the Karur tragedy. Here only DMK organizing secretary and also advocate R.S. Bharati has filed a petition before the Supreme Court saying that as the case is pending before the Supreme Court and also CBI is probing the incident, TVK leaders are making unnecessary comments regarding the tragedy. And also they said TVK ministers and Chief Minister Vijay also trying to influence the eyewitnesses testimonials and also trying to intimate the victims' families. So this is what DMK had to say regarding the incident. DMK spokesperson spoke to us. Let's listen to it.
People who are running the government today are also being allegedly responsible for the entire tragedy. That being the fact, that being the allegation, now they are trying to create a narrative as if that they want to settle scores, they want to fix the issue. The matter is sub judice. You have gone to the Supreme Court for the CBI investigation. CBI is investigating it. Now you have the power. Now you are manipulating the victims and the witnesses before they come for the testimonial to the CBI or to the Supreme Court. That is unfair. Hence we are going to the Supreme Court to stop such efforts.
So Supreme Court also has agreed to hear the DMK petition tomorrow. It will be very interesting to see whether Supreme Court is making any sort of remarks as TVK Chief and Chief Minister Vijay is also scheduled to meet the victims' families next week. We are continuing to stay with news from Tamil Nadu. Another breaking news is regarding the DMK versus TVK over poaching allegations. DMK alleges TVK is trying to poach their MLAs and already has poached AIDMK MLAs, and TVK in return allege DMK is allegedly bribing TVK MLAs to topple the TVK government. To speak more on this, we have my colleague Sam Daniel. Sam, over to you.
Thank you, Vijay. That's right. Both the key opposition, the DMK, and the ruling TVK